So, what are some of the insights that you've learned working in this process with agents, and what's some of the challenges that you faced optimizing agents to do this type of work?
There's so many things. I mean, like any other product, any other, foundational technology, I think agents take a little bit to master, and we're still, not quite there yet. At least in drug discovery, is a risk of hallucinations, right? That is very significant. In other areas, maybe a little bit less. Creating a marketing campaign, maybe it doesn't matter that much, right? That the agent is kind of, coming up with crazy ideas. But in drug discovery, um, you need to have a solid grounding, right? So if an agent is making a conclusion based on a research paper, it needs to understand the research paper and needs to extract the information in a reliable way, and then it needs to make a conclusion that leverages that information, right? Like, you cannot just hallucinate things. That kind of defeats the purpose. I would say we've learned that evals are important. When we started working on this, we did not have the right evaluation metrics and processes. The agent would switch what it was coming up with from one day to the next. So that was a little bit frustrating. Definitely far from perfect. There's a lot of work still to be done. I think evals are very, very important within this space. And then I would say the other thing that has become notorious is that the agents, or at least the language models that power the agents, are changing so much. So it is important to be able to kind of adapt with that. So when we started, for example, I think we were using one of the Gemini series models. It was Gemini 2. And there is a very noticeable change in quality between the models that we're using just 1 year ago and the models that we're using today. So
Oh, yeah.
if somebody is building an AI agent and they say, well, I'm going to use GPT G4, for example, and a year from now, there might be a GPT-5 or a GPT-6, right? So it's important to be able to switch things and adjust the prompts to leverage the new capabilities of the models, right? So it's a little bit different than a lot of other areas in technology, right? Like, if you're building a web app today, for example, and you use, Postgres, 17, chances are next year you don't have to change to Postgres 18 because you get this new amazing capability. Like, your database is probably going to be steady. Like, you can keep that for 5 or 6 years and you will not really notice, that you're missing anything. Whereas here, I think people need to be ready to essentially switch models every few months.
Yeah, that's what we've noticed in our work with agents as well. That depending on the performance of the model, you have to tune the prompts, and you cannot sit still. So that agentic code that you wrote a year ago, it's obsolete. You have to rewrite not the whole thing, but you have to at least adjust the prompts and do fine tuning because the models they change so much, and even the legacy models they don't perform consistently. So there is no consistency. I guess. So how do you deal with this world of no consistency? How did you have some frameworks that you've set up to help yourself transition?
We don't. Unfortunately, this is one of the areas where there's still a little bit more work to do. We basically do some human eval, right? And we're developing our automated eval, but it's just something that we're living with at the moment. I think this is going to be one of the more important areas